what's your confidence level 1 to 10 on the new look 76ers, on the Sixers big three? JC, what do you think? What's your confidence level with this team?
My confidence level with this team, you know what? Everybody just chooses 7 to be safe. I feel like that's like the normalized answer. I'm gonna go 8. And the reason I'm going to go 8 is because...
So you're very confident in them.
Yes, because I'm thinking about this strictly, and this is going to sound crazy, but I'm thinking about this strictly if all of them, well, not all of them, if the two main components are healthy come playoff time. That's what I'm thinking of. We've never really gotten that from Joel Embiid, even though he was really good last year against the Knicks while he was hurt. Paul George is another one who gets hurt or, is iffy around playoff time. But just from a team and a basketball perspective, I think they feel a much-needed void. Paul George is still an elite player. Tyrese Maxey's gotten much better. Joel Embiid is arguably the best scorer in the NBA. I mean, he was going to win the scoring title again if he didn't get hurt consecutive seasons. I like the role player. I like them bringing back Kelly Oubre. I liked all that stuff that they did. I like the head coach that they have, Nick Nurse, puts them in great positions to succeed. I just think a lot of this comes down to, for lack of better term, just health, man. If Joel Embiid can give me just one healthy postseason, I don't think that there's any team in the Eastern Conference that has an answer for a healthy Joel Embiid, because no team in the NBA has an answer. I honestly feel like he would, if Joel Embiid was healthy, I feel like he would destroy Boston. That's just how I think. If we're talking about a healthy Joel Embiid, that's arguably the best scorer in the NBA, if he's healthy, who poses mismatches all over the court, bro, I think he's arguably the most unstoppable player in the league. There's not anything that he can't do offensively, but he has to be healthy. Same thing with Paul George. If I'm getting a good high-level Paul George, if I could get the Paul George that was present some of the games against the Clippers, I know I have a feeling Tyrese Maxey's he had one
against Dallas. Against
Dallas. Pardon me. Yeah. Against Dallas, where he went like nuclear one
game. Four.
Where he hit that like crazy like corner shot on Derrick Jones with like a crazy contest. He just had it that game.
Literally his only good game.
Tyrese Maxey, like I just think highly of this team. I'm gonna say an 8 just because I'm looking at the current constructed roster, and I think it's a very good roster, and I think Paul George can maybe be that missing piece to maybe take them over the top, or at least make a finals appearance, even though Boston is the favorite.
Do you think they got the starting lineup now? Because they just signed Caleb Martin from the Heat.
It's a good
depth.
So do you think Maxey, Oubre, Caleb, PG, and Embiid are their starters?
I think you would have to probably bring one of them off the bench.
Because right now the players they have are Drummond, Eric Gordon, Jared McCain, Ricky Council.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Their bench is not good at all.
I like the Drummond backing up Embiid.
It's good.
That's
like
your
that. Backup center.
I like that. He's been there before.
Your best backup guard is Jared McCann right now. But I look at this Philadelphia team, and my confidence level in them right now is a 7 out of 10. I think they're a contender, but I think it's a second-tier contender in this Eastern Conference. And the same exact group as the Bucks, the Miami Heat, the Magic, and the Pacers. The Knicks I have in that first tier, but the Celtics are a clear like spot above. I give them that acknowledgement because they had that type of run and that type of season. So here's the thing for Philly. I love the big three. I think in the regular season, they're going to be set up to win a lot more games this year if Embiid does play and finish the year. My concern comes basically with everybody, though. First off, for Embiid, he refined a lot of rough edges in the game last year, but the biggest thing is he's turning 30 years old, and he's never had a healthy playoff run one time.
That's the only problem.
I look at Tyrese Maxey. He's the one guy I really don't have any questions for. He was spectacular this postseason. But to me, I look at the Paul George signing. I'm like, his game is great. I think he's perfect. The skill in is the number 3 option. But he has disappeared so many times in the postseason. Yes. And that's against teams like the Mavericks he's disappearing against. What's going to happen when OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are guarding him? Caleb Martin, amazed in Miami. Will he be the same?
He's played Mikal Bridges already.
What's up?
He's played Mikal Bridges already.
Well, I mean,
he did him filthy that one year.
That was 3 years ago.
He was cooking.
He's the same guy, bro.
He's regressing a little
Dogged
bit.
him. I got to continue.
He was filthy against him back in 2021. But then I look at Caleb Martin. I don't think he's going to be the same player to leave Miami. And we see the type of shots the Heat gave him a lot of freedom. I don't think he's going to have that same leash going from Spoelstra to Nick Nurse's system. And the last guy, I would just say Kelly Oubre is a really good defensive player. Was very good for them in the playoffs. Great start to the year. I don't know if him and Caleb Martin will bring that shot making at a consistent enough level. So I'd say for the 76ers, a 7 out of 10 is as high as I can really go for their confidence. I think they're still a second round exit.
You guys are more confident on them than I am. I'm at a 5 out of 10. That's my confidence level. I don't know if you feel the same, Riff.
I'm at a 6.
You're at a 6. So we're similar.
I am shocked. I'm the highest out of the 4 people.
I just
I'm the
think-
highest. I
he's
said
the- he
8,
got-
bro.
he got-
I really
he's at
don't
8 out of
trust
10.
I said
that
8.
that
Okay.
8,
I
9
thought you
man
said
rotation. I'm not excited about. Like their big three is fine. Let me start by saying that the big three is fine. I think they all mesh together well. I think PG, Maxey, and B complement the games well. I think Maxey is going to take another leap this year. I think PG is a fine number 3. I think Embiid, like you mentioned, if he's healthy, he's great. Even when he's not healthy, he's still
amazing
great.
still.
I think after that, it gets real muddy and milky, and I don't like it. Not to mention, we talk about PG not showing up. Doc Rivers is their head coach. Another coach who tends to fumble when it's time to.
Nick Nurse.
Oh,
Nurse,
I'm
Nick Nurse.
fucking
Yeah,
blanking.
Nick Nurse.
I'm so sorry. Nick Nurse is their head coach, and he's never had this type of talent around where they not all need the ball, but they do need the ball. You know, PG needs the ball. Maxey kind of needs the ball.
PG's better as a catch and shooter.
He can do it. I don't know if he's, but he can do it at an elite
I
rate.
saw his pull-up stats were pretty bad.
Catch and shoot elite
Yeah,
rate.
40%.
Pull-ups, he takes horrible shots. His shot diet sucks, so it wouldn't be good. But for me, and I think Joel's probably feeling the same way, it's their depth, man. Their depth is just not something to smile about. I mean, Eric Gordon, he's up there in age. Jerry McCain is a rookie you have to rely on. Drummond is cool. I'm not even mad at
that.
Drummond, but I think Drummond is cool if he's like the third, fourth best guy off the bench. He's probably your best guy or most consistent guy off the bench. It's not ideal. You know, Ricky Council had some good moments last year, but still, he's really young. It's just not a bench you want to rely on. And in the playoffs, what I think hurt them the most is them Embiidless minutes. It was really bad. Now, PG is supposed to negate that when he's also in the game. But at the same time, I just don't like this outside of their big three, their 4 or 5 man lineup going up against the Knicks, going up against Boston. You know, even going up against Milwaukee. It's really just a big 3 versus a big 3. You know, and that's still going to be a tough challenge. So for me, I got him at a 6 because, I don't know if they can improve this roster anymore. Caleb Martin is a cool addition, but they're still relatively a little small on the wing side. You know, all these wings are skinny. They can defend, but they're all skinny, not the biggest. You know, and outside of that, their guard play is a little bit suspect at the moment because they don't have enough playmaking. So for me, I'm definitely at a 6. Like, it's good. This team is really good. I just have to see a little bit more.
If off their bench the 3 players were Drummond, Caleb, and Oubre, I would like it.
Definitely
but the
would.
fact that Oubre and Caleb are starting,
Even if Buddy Hield came back,
Yeah.
I'd be cool with it.
Oubre, a 31% three-point shooter last year. Caleb Martin was at 35%. I just don't think that's good enough. I think the Caleb Martin signing had more to do with the Sixers trying to fuck with the Celtics in a way. Like, oh, listen, we're bringing in the guy that played really well against you in the conference finals. Oh,
He's a Celtic
this
killer.
could be the X factor right here. Yeah. And I just don't buy it. Like, I think Caleb Martin might fall in line more with role players that have left the Heat and that have gotten
Fallen
worse.
off. Yeah.
Gabe Vincent, due to injury, but still, I don't think he's going to be the same level of player he's going to be in LA that he was with the Miami Heat. And then Max Strus, I thought he was fine for Cleveland, but you left away the season with 1 and more from him. He was
shot wasn't
average.
I wouldn't say Strus is the best example. To me, it's Josh Richardson, Tyler Johnson, Hassan Whiteside in a way, and then this sucks because he had so many injuries, but Justice Winslow. Those are the guys who left Miami and fell off a total cliff.
Like Caleb Martin averages 10 points
And that's the thing with the
on
Heat.
playing 27 minutes a night.
With the Heat, he was in the perfect role where he had a little bit of opportunity to create shots. I just don't think in Philly they're going to utilize him the same exact way Eric Spoelstra is able to maximize him.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Martin and Oubre, if they're in the starting lineup, then they are relegated to being spot-up players. Like, they're not going to have the ball, and I think Oubre's at his best when he's slashing and attacking the basket, and he's not going to have the freedom to do that in this type of lineup. Unless they start Eric Gordon, which that would make much more sense, but I don't like Eric Gordon starting in the backcourt with Maxey. I just think they don't have enough good players. That's really my biggest gripe with Philadelphia. I think they're very talented. Maybe if they make a trade or two, and they get some other guys that are actually solidified starters, I might feel differently about it. But with the injuries and the depth, I'm just at a coin toss with them, like basically on how to feel about them.
You and I are mad high on the Suns going to last year. Do they remind you of that Phoenix team? They just got swept in the first round. With
They're
that
top
same
heavy.
Big three.
They're top heavy. It reminds me of them only in the fact that they have clearly put themselves in a predicament to where it's going to be hard to build a team around these 3 guys because they're getting paid so much. But it doesn't remind me of them because I think these three players fit much better than the Suns' big three. That's the biggest difference for me.